In a time of faith, in a land where the impossible seemed to be the limit, a multitude sought hope. Thousands, with nothing but hunger and despair, but in their midst, there was a faith that would transform everything. 5 loaves, 2 fish, and a promise. When faith meets need, miracles happen. The miracle is just beginning. At that time, Jesus was already known for his teachings and miracles, and wherever he went, crowds gathered to hear him. At one point, Jesus and his disciples went up a mountain by the Sea of Galilee. A large crowd followed them, people who were thirsty for his words and healings, but soon a problem arose. It was late and everyone was hungry. There was not enough food in sight to meet the needs of so many people, and the disciples began to worry about how they would feed the crowd. It is estimated that about 5,000 men, not counting women and children, were present. The disciples, aware of the situation, advised Jesus to send the people away so that each one could go and look for food in the surrounding villages. However, Jesus surprised them by saying, "You give them something to eat." Disbelief took over. One of the disciples, Andrew, met a young man who brought with him 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But how could such a small amount of food even begin to feed so many people? The situation seemed completely impossible. Even in the face of apparent impossibility, Jesus did not hesitate. He asked for the loaves and fish to be brought to him. Without anxiety or worry, Jesus thanked God for the food. In an act of pure faith, he ordered the disciples to organize the people into groups and begin distributing the loaves and fish. No explanations or elaborate plans were given, only trust in divine providence. As the disciples obeyed and delivered the loaves and fish, something amazing began to happen. The food did not run out. Each group received what they needed, and the food continued to appear. The miracle of multiplication took place before everyone's eyes. What seemed like little became enough to feed every person present to the point of satiety. In the end, there were still 12 baskets full of broken pieces of bread and fish left over, demonstrating the abundance with which God blesses those who trust in him. This miracle was not just an act of physical kindness. It taught profound spiritual lessons. Jesus showed that with faith, even the most difficult situations can be transformed into extraordinary blessings. He taught that even when it seems we have little to offer, God can multiply our efforts and surprise us. Today, the story of the multiplication of the loaves and fishes inspires us to trust, especially in times of scarcity and uncertainty, knowing that faith can open doors where there were once only barriers. The miracle is a reminder that when we give God what we have, he turns the little into abundance. Generosity even in times of scarcity. In the miracle, the young man who offered his 5 loaves and 2 fish gave all he had, even though he knew it would not be enough to feed everyone. This lesson can be applied to modern life by reminding us to share what we have, even if it seems little. Often, our contribution, no matter how small, can have a much greater impact than we imagine. Practical example. If you are in a time of financial hardship, it may seem like you don't have much to offer. However, simple gestures such as donating time, emotional support, or even small acts of charity can multiply in blessings and create a positive effect in the lives of others. Trust in times of uncertainty. Jesus demonstrated complete confidence that God would provide, even when faced with a seemingly impossible situation. This teaches us the importance of trusting in the process, even when challenges seem insurmountable. Many times, we face difficulties and feel like we have no options. But faith encourages us to act with confidence and believe that solutions will come. Practical example. If you are going through a crisis, whether at work or in your personal life, it can be tempting to give up or despair. However, this story reminds us that staying calm, doing your best, and trusting that solutions will present themselves is a powerful way to overcome adversity. The power of teamwork and organization. Before performing the miracle, Jesus asked the crowd to organize themselves into groups. This shows that organization and teamwork are important to achieving great things. In everyday life, when facing complex challenges or projects, Having a structured approach and sharing responsibilities can make all the difference. Practical example. When working in a team, whether on a community project or at work, organize tasks efficiently and make sure everyone understands their role. Organized collaboration can lead to the success of a project that initially seemed impossible to accomplish alone. The multiplication of blessings through sharing. The miracle teaches us that the act of sharing creates abundance. When we give of what we have, whether it's time, resources, or love, it returns to us in unexpected and often multiplied ways. In everyday life, this is reflected in how generosity can transform not only the life of the receiver, but also the life of the giver. Practical example. When you volunteer for a cause or help a neighbor, you not only make an immediate difference, but you also create a cycle of positivity that often returns in ways you never imagined. This act of sharing can lead to new opportunities, relationships, and personal growth. Hope in times of crisis. When the disciples looked at the hungry crowd, they felt despair. But Jesus saw an opportunity to demonstrate faith. History teaches us that in times of crisis, it is possible to find solutions that transcend the resources we have at our disposal when we cultivate a mindset of faith and optimism. Practical example. In times of difficulty, such as a pandemic or an economic crisis, we can feel overwhelmed by the circumstances. However, by maintaining a vision of hope, seeking creative solutions, and counting on the help of others, we can transform difficult situations into opportunities for growth and overcoming. The importance of giving thanks before receiving. Jesus gave thanks for the loaves and fishes before seeing the miracle happen. This attitude teaches the value of being grateful even before things happen, cultivating a mindset of abundance and confidence in the future. Practical example. Practice gratitude daily, even when the results you desire have not yet happened. Be thankful for what you already have, and this positive mindset can not only bring more peace, but also pave the way for new opportunities. By applying these lessons to everyday life, we can see that the story of the multiplication of the loaves and fishes goes far beyond a past miracle. It teaches us that faith, generosity, and trust in difficult times have the power to transform any circumstance into opportunities for growth and blessings.